All right. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Was I on last night? Yeah, I was, right? Yeah. Okay, so last night we got pretty far into wherever this place is. Okay, yep. Okay, now I remember. Yeah. So we have to like kill the antibodies. Wait, why am I on this one? No, this is the right one. Okay, so killing the antibodies opens the really? That was really dumb. So killing the antibodies opens the barriers to get to the next areas. Okay, so we just have to go this way, and there's a unique over here. Okay, there's a unique over here that I defeated, and then we just have to go this way. Pulsating passage? That sounds inappropriate. Okay, listen, this game also, out of all the Xenoblades, this one is like the most inappropriate. Like it has the most like inappropriate dialogue.
You're mine now.
Affinity max evade. Okay. Well, I'll have to see what's coming up next, but if I can... If there's no need for me to have one of the spike damage reduction accessories, I'll remove those.
This is new.
The soaring rostrum?
Perfect base of operations.
Oh, this is a nice view. Oh, there's that secret area, that pretty secret area with all the turquoise and pink. Malus is close. I can sense him. So this is it then, the final battle. What shall we do? We may never get another chance like this. Yeah. If you go any further, there will be no turning back. Falling in battle will mean restarting from the title screen. Your game will be saved before the final battle begins. Ah, okay. Indeed, you are wise to be cautious. Agreed, this is the battle we simply can't lose. If we're going to confront Malus, we need to be at peak performance. Okay, so, I don't really know if there's anything I want to do. I guess what we could do is go back and see if we have all the slates required to get into that place that was blocked by that like pink barrier. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was in Gormott. I don't even know if that place was worth it. Let me look it up. Good evening, Rebecca. Did you hear about the dermatologist who had to help with pest control? He had to get rid of a bunch of moles. Oh, you know what? That is pest control. I mean, I guess depending on the mole. Torna, Golden Country, slates. But I mean, if you get enough moles on your body, it is pest control. Oh, it's in Aletta. Okay, so that is in Torna. Oh, cavern. Oh, I have a fast travel point to it. Okay, so I used, I think, one slate already before I was like, wait, I want to make sure that I have all of them. I think maybe it was, I don't remember, Crimson? I'm still missing some though. But I'm missing. I used one of these. I think it was either Dawning or Crimson that I already had, and I used it. But it should tell you if you already filled it. So I'm missing, I think, Crimson, Scarlet, Cherry, and Moss Green. How many slates are there total? It may just be one apiece. Yeah, it is. It's just one apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But I already used one. I just don't know which one it was, but I think it was one of these. But I mean, they should tell you which one. Like, if you already used it, it should like say that in the, where it says current required, it should tell you that you like filled that one. Okay, let me see if I can look up the locations of the rest of them. So, it was one of these. But I need Crimson, either Crimson or Dawning, Scarlet, Cherry, and Moss Green. Okay, I guess we'll try Crimson first. Or checkmark it like they do for the recipe menu. Yeah. Or something. Like, they should do something to mark it. Okay, so... Oh, maybe it was the Crimson. Grassy area near the trees. Feltley Village. Okay, let's just look for both of them. So, Lasseria. Feltley Village. Grassy area near trees. What?
Alright, remind me why we're here again?
Do you know how many grassy areas there are near trees? I mean, this is Feltley Village, so can't be too far. Okay, well, now we've left Feltley's village, so it's gotta be back here.
This takes me back.
Although this might not even be the slate piece, it might be the dawning that I'm looking for. I might have already had Crimson. Oh, treasure chest.
Ah, my favorite part.
Okay, I don't see anything, so I'm thinking maybe I got this one already. This is exactly why they should mark it if you've already used it. Okay, let's go look for the dawning slate piece then. Mernez Falls.
A pleasant stroll.
Right. Where shall we head to next?
Time crept up on us, it seems.
There's something quite magical about traveling beneath the stars.
This is Myrna's Falls. I feel like I got this one. I mean, it doesn't say it's at Myrna's Falls, it just says it's near there. I don't see it here either, though. So, and I think it is Crimson I'm missing. Alright, let me see if I can get a more exact location. Okay, here's a guy that gives me more exact locations. Okay, let's try going back to Feltley. Should be in a grassy area to your left near trees. Okay. So maybe this? Maybe I found both of these then. Okay, so let's just try another one. So I know that I'm missing, I know that I'm also missing Scarlet. Or wait, wait, you know what? I don't remember. I have to write. Okay, I'm gonna have to write these down. Luckily, we have a fast travel point. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in.
Where shall we head to next?
Hello, Rebecca. Hope you're well and having a lovely Sunday so far. Hi, wrestling fan. My Sunday is good. How is yours? I just noticed the title of the stream. Do we slam a slipper on the ground before saying it? Yes, we should. I want to ask, how do you like the map design here compared to the base game? I mean, it seems pretty much the same to me. It's just a little bit easier to navigate because there's not so many areas. Okay, let me write this down. So I need... First, I need a notepad. Okay, so I need either Dawning or Crimson, Scarlet, Cherry, and Moss Green. Okay, let's find at least for sure, let's find Scarlet, Cherry, and Moss Green, and then we can figure out which of the other ones we're missing. Okay, so Scarlet.
Change of pace.
All right, remind me why.
Oh
you're
wait,
here
no,
again?
I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh wait, well, we still have to get to Lethbridge though. Oh, when you said write this down, I was hoping you'd whip up a handy dandy notebook. What? A notebook in 2026? No, dude, when we write things down in 2026, we open Notepad on the computer and type it in. Okay, so Lethbridge right here. We need Aegean level 3 though. We need Aegean level 3 water, which he probably doesn't have. No, we don't. Oh my god, we don't even have that unlocked. Okay, I don't even know if this is worth it because apparently all this leads you to is like a no pawn and some extra like resources and enemies. I mean, I was going to be like, all right, let's like stretch it out a little bit, but maybe we'll just go, you know, maybe we'll just go ahead with the end of the DLC because here's another thing. How long have we played this for? Okay, about 27 hours. That's a pretty good amount for a DLC. If it's good enough for Steve, it's good enough for me. It is good enough for Steve, but back in the day when we still wrote stuff down by hand. I guess we still write things by hand, technically. Like, typing uses hands. But, I mean, in 2026, I'm not writing anything down with, like, a pen and paper. That's ridiculous. Oh, yeah, if you do everything in Torna, you can get to 40 hours easy. Dang, they put in a lot of content. Well, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, like, it's, you know, like we talked about before, it is pretty dumb that they have required side quests. Like, I'm okay with the required side quests. Just don't make it that many side quests. That's ridiculous. Why did nobody else have their level 3? Now we're close to the end. One thing I do like about 2 and Torna is they're pretty forthright about who the big bad is the whole time. There's no big swerve like in 1. Sometimes simple's best, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you don't, like, know the whole story, of course, but yeah. Like, because there is, like, a reason Malus is doing what he's doing, and it's, like, that's just who he is. But you definitely don't know the whole story about Jin. I'm good, thanks for asking. Good to hear that you're okay. Good to hear. Hope you had a good weekend. Because of that, there's no secret who the final boss is. For context, Malus is at level 50 for the final fight. Okay. Well, I'm just around there. Wait, am I supposed to be going this way? I'm a little bit higher than that. I mean, in 1 and 2 and 3, I was like way over leveled for the final bosses. With the DLC of 1, I honestly don't remember. I don't remember if I was over leveled. Where am I supposed to be going? Oh. That was the wrong... Why would that fast travel point not be the last one?
Even on familiar ground,
alright, well, I mean, let's just... We'll go for it. If we need to level up, we'll level up. I mean, I don't really know what I'm going to be going into, so I'll just keep everybody as they are. And we will adjust as needed. She's like... Oh, Bridget's like, oh, we may never get a chance like this, except we can just reload. You did everything in future connected, so you were a bit over leveled, but it's hard to go way over there. They kept things pretty tight. Oh, okay. And I mean, I think that's a good design for a DLC. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead. All right then, I too think it is time for us to make a stand. Think only of the battle, Majesty. Bridget and I are here to protect you to the end. Indeed, we, the Jewels of Moradane, are sworn to serve you for now and forever. Bridget, Aegean, I trust you with my life. I will write of this battle in my journal. It will be a story for the ages. Yeah, with the power we command, there's absolutely no way we can lose. So then in the base game, then Bridget should already know what happened here. If she read the journal from this time. Unlike all the base games in Torna where you can make the final bosses a joke. Yeah. Yeah, I had zero problems with any of the final bosses. in the base games. Malice and I may be evenly matched, but with all of you by my side, it tips the balance. Oh wait, did I skip over the last dialogue? Who said what? Let me look. Good thing I have YouTube to go back. Oh, it was Minoth. Yeah, I did skip over it. It was Minoth that said, who needs modesty, eh, Aegis? Though I suppose you of all people probably don't, come to think of it. Okay, so he said that in response to Mithra saying, with the power we command, there's absolutely no way we can lose. He's got no one but himself to rely on, and that's why he's going down. Ah, because we have the power of friendship. Mithra, you've really changed. Oh, you think? Wonder who's to blame for that. You drivers must really rub off on people. It's not just that. Hell, if that were the case, I'd be some kind of street preacher by now. When you put it that way, I can't help feeling just the slightest twinge of pity for our dear Quester. Well, I mean, we talked about this before, but, I mean, I guess it doesn't always happen. I mean, nothing's 100%, right? But it does seem that drivers do influence Blade's personalities, but Blades also have their own personalities, and they seem like they keep their core personality even after being reawakened. But I'm sure there are times where they clash with their drivers and they don't get along. That's what I was wondering, that in the base game. Like, what if a Blade doesn't like their driver? Like, can they just leave? I'm sorry, but I must sympathize with Minoth. I couldn't imagine having to be the Blade of such a horrid man. It's true, the rest of us are lucky to have such caring drivers, like Laura. I'll have you know we're just as lucky to have such loyal companions by our side, Jin. I couldn't have put it better. But as we've seen with most Blades, like, they are there to serve their drivers, right? So to them, their driver is the good person. Like what we saw with Praxis and Theory, like, they were just serving their driver. So they took on, like, the values and the personality of their driver, and they were out there, like, committing crimes. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, everyone. Right, let's knock Malice off his high horse and then get ourselves out of here. Back to the boys.
You got here fast. I thought you'd jump ship with the rest of the rats.
Tornans are braver than you think, Malos. Nobody here is scared of you. Look!
Yes, I can see it. Minutes to go. 10 minutes before my gargoyles overrun the core entirely. If you can take me down, that means you win. If you can't, well, end of story.
Aren't you smart?
We were born into the stinking world. Might as well have some fun. Life or death. Not much of a choice. But you gotta choose, partner.
Oh, so we're fighting these guys too? Oh, so he does have help.
You shall not prevail.
Ready.
You shall burn. You shall not prevail.
Gravity break. Save the best for last.
But something I just realized, Mithra's little outfit carries over from the base game, so the middle section of her core gem is missing. In her regular depiction, it's whole. Oh, okay. I did not notice that either. Good luck, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, here goes down. Okay, we could probably do a core or chain attack.
Get ready to follow up.
He's only got 3. I thought he had more than that.
Magnificent.
Plenty more where that came from. Gotcha.
Elemental burst.
I am as relentless as the tides.
Bridget!
There is no escape.
Excellent.
We're not done yet.
Excellent.
Minnow! This is far from over. Swap with me, Hayes.
Well, I mean, I think he's dead anyway.
This is the part I like most. Emperor Hugo. The influence.
Now. Elemental burst.
It's not over. Not by a long shot.
Take it away, Prince. Who do you think I am? Elemental burst.
I can follow that up. Jin, I'm trusting you with this.
Astounding.
Don't forget me. Lead the rear guard to me, Bridget.
Your luck has run out.
Astounding. Any last words? Magnificent. Mithra?
Open wide.
Magnificent.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Hayes, deal with it.
Magnificent.
This is the... I shall leave it in your capable hands, Leon.
Magnificent.
Enemy
down.
forward.
Do you really care for this world that much?
them! The gargoyles!
I see them, but... What's wrong? That all you got?
Oh, I got plenty. I think it's time to smash your toys.
Huh?
Ophion!
Ah, that guy.
You know, preparation is everything, Malos.
Hey, Rebecca MC in chat. I see we are at the end. Hi, Raina. Thanks for coming in. How are you? Yes, we are. I was going to collect all the slate pieces, but I found out to collect one of them, I needed to get Aegean's water mastery or whatever. They call it something else in this DLC. But we needed to get into level 3. And that was going to take a lot of work. Plus, it didn't seem like getting all the slate pieces were worth it. So I was like, let's just go to the end. This portion is super mecha. It's so awesome. Ooh, nice.
Ophion!
Hold firm. He's coming.
I'm doing okay. I hope you had a good day too. Yeah, it was pretty good. Nothing too exciting.
Got something
Just
to say?
went grocery shopping.
Why the damn bloodlust?
I've told you before. The humans built the bonfire. All I did was help them light it.
Enough sophistry.
Oh, yeah? Are you a blade or not? You know it as well as I do. What humans are really like. You think they're all like your precious primer?
Malos!
Oh.
Oh, you summoned Siren. Then let me add to the mix too.
Let us show you why we fight.
In this battle, the party gauge is replaced by the siren gauge, which you charge by scoring hits against Malos. Ooh. Okay. I cannot wait to see what happens here. When all 3 sections of the gauge are charged, press plus to make the siren use an artifice art. Artifice arts will not only deal damage to Malos' siren, but they'll also boost your team's attack power. Similarly, Malos also has a siren gauge he will charge. When the gauge is full, he will attack Mithra's siren with artifice arts and get a boost to his own attack. I see. Congrats, you have a brand new mechanic during the final boss. Okay. You know what would be really cool though? If we like fought as these sirens. Like, let's just let the drivers and the blades like do their thing and we go control the siren. The artifice arts get stronger the more they are used, so the key to prevailing is to try and reach the higher level artifice arts before Malos does. Okay, so what I'm hearing is just attack. Furthermore, you won't be able to use chain attacks while the siren gauge is displayed, so plan accordingly. Okay, so what I'm hearing is like, just be very offensive.
Try it!
Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?
Who's after Volcano? Okay. Well, that's fun. Oh! They actually put it in the background.
Great.
Your fate is sealed.
Third stage. Awesome. Good. Final disaster toppled.
What is happening? What is happening over there? Those guys are making too much noise. This is too loud. This is too loud. Okay, there were 3 HP potions, and instead of Laura getting them, she just stood around. I also like how they have different attacks.
Don't you know who I am?
The insolence.
If you get behind, it's hard to catch up. If you stay ahead, you won't have a problem. Okay. Obvious statement is obvious. Yeah, that's always a jump scare for new players. I mean, I think that's cool. I thought it was cool. I just didn't realize that would happen.
Gotcha!
No more running amok.
Come on!
Follow up, John.
Don't you know who I am?
Gotcha!
No more running amok. You shall burn.
There is no escape. This'll do it.
Let's go out with a bang. Stop.
Something else that happened was that each usage of the artifices, it locks off building gate for a bit, so you can really get ahead. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense because I was wondering why Malice's siren wasn't getting any gauge. Oh, wait, we're back to chain attacks? Okay. I did not realize that. Alright, okay, I guess that's fine. Okay.
This is far from over.
Did they tell me I was back to chain attacks?
Keep it going. Be my guest.
Elemental burst.
We're not done yet.
Astounding.
This'll do it.
Elemental burst.
Plenty more where that came from. Jin, I need you up
For my parts,
Astounding.
I am as relentless as the tides.
Bridget.
Your luck has run out.
Astounding.
We're not done yet.
Magnificent.
Your turn, Adam.
Aggravating little. Magnificent.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Laura, I've left you
Come
some.
on.
Magnificent.
Really? I needed you to hit one of the other
This
ones.
is the part I like most. I shall leave it in
Shall
your
I
capable
finish
hands, Leon.
Magnificent.
Oh my god, really?
Finish.
Holy orbs, I know, because I couldn't use chain attacks before. Nope, they just said surprise, back to regular mechanics. So that's kind of dumb. How do you supposed to know? Okay, well, you know, I guess now that I look at it, I guess the color of the gauge is different now. When it was the siren, it was a different color. It was like white. Now it's blue.
You shall This is far from over. Swap with me, Hayes. Right on target.
Elemental burst.
Don't expect to reach Emperor Hugo.
No more running amok.
Elemental burst.
No mercy.
Magnificent.
Your turn, Adam.
Elemental burst. Full burst. Enough.
There.
Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?
Begin.
Oh, okay, we got him. Well, I don't know if this is his final form.
Magnificent.
You could level
One
us
enemy
down.
down.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, Mithra! Good show! But I know you've got more! Let it all out, Mithra! Stop holding out on me!
Okay, but the sirens are still there, so why did we suddenly stop with their gauges? That doesn't make sense. Oh, JM, thank you so much for the $5 super chat.
I can bring
Now
it
you're all
out.
done. Congratulations on beating the DLC. Also, strap in for the ending. It's gonna be wild. Oh boy. Oh no, I'm scared. Okay, so I guess that was his final form. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Hi, Goku. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. GG's. Thank you, Fluffy Snipe. Appreciate that.
The town. This can't be real. Milton!
What is that?
Show me what you got, Mithra! Do it! Make me proud!
No, it's a giant core crystal.
Wait! Mithra! You can't!
What is happening?
This is a battle between the Aegises.
Burn it all! What the? Mithra! That's it! Perfect! That's the power that our father gave us! It's what the world has cried for since its birth! Me, you, we're here to give them what they want!
You're wrong. I don't.
Really? Then I'll just have to claim all the destruction for myself!
Wait, what?
I just want to save.
Wait, why is she saying Rex?
Our nation, our people.
My brother, we must flee before we lose the ground beneath our feet. Did you heed me, brother? Brother! My brother!
I commend my people to you.
Okay. Oh, Milton. Just relaxing? Nice. There goes Mithra. Oh, Mithra's going Super Saiyan. She certainly did. I love airborne magic sword clashes. Me too.
Jin,
They're very cool.
please.
I mean, that was a cool fight, except it destroyed a lot of stuff.
Adam, everyone.
Yo, Rebecca, it's been years since I've seen you. Hi, Brian. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Foresight, remember, she can see the future. That far ahead, though?
Hugo.
Aw. Wait, but if Hugo died here, that must mean it was Hugo's brother that Niall's line came from. Or Hugo's brother's line that Niall came from. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was that one guy's job. It was like literally his only job to bring the core crystals back of Bridget and Aegean. Aw. The Torn and Titan didn't even do anything. He's just out here living his best life.
Mikhail! No.
So I guess they finally killed some people off after all. I mean, Hugo, though, I didn't think he would die, like, right here and now, but, like, this was 500 years ago, so, I mean, I figured eventually he died at some point.
You're leaving?
Yes. The Royal Spirit Crucible is in Lefthyria. I believe it'll keep this sealed.
I see.
I have a request for you. I hear that a militia squad is evacuated to Specia. Give them a message from me. Once things are calm, they should come to Lefthyria. Okay?
Understood. I'll do it.
What is that?
Caught up with you at last, Laura.
How do you know my name?
It knows human speech.
But it's not a blade.
Oh, creepy.
Gort? What happened to you?
It hurt. Oh, the pain. It hurt when you cut my bloody arm off. Hmm? Is this my arm? Hey, I have an arm! It still hurts, though. It throbs and it throbs and it just doesn't stop.
I can't make sense of this.
He's lost his mind.
I don't think so. He seems ecstatic.
I'll use your blood as a balm for my wounds. How about it? Sound fair? Yeah! I'll start with you. You Torna blade. I'm paying you back for cutting my arms off, you dog! I'll have me arms back. And I think I deserve some interest too. I'll take your ears and nose as well. But first, I'll get your blood for my medicine. Then it'll be your turn, Laura. It's your meddling that did this to me after all. It was you and your bitch mother. I knew I should have gotten myself a decent woman. It's your bastard fault. Think you're gonna die quick? I'm gonna enjoy watching you suffer.
I will not let you insult my mother like that.
Hurts to hear the truth, don't it?
You think you can pass judgment on my mother? You don't know us!
Leave it, Laura. Trying to talk to him is a waste of time.
He's right. No more mercy. This creature is beyond help.
Jin. Hayes. You're right. I won't waste my mercy on him. But I will end his pain.
Excellent! I'll have me some prime-time entertainment with you, girl. Hope you're a screamer, Laura.
Oh, wait, are you actually fighting? Okay. So this is not actually the end. Is this endgame? Yeah. So this is where Tantal comes from. Zetter and the survivors from Torna. Ah, okay. Okay, so Zeke's family claimed they came from Adam. So we don't know where their family came from, but they did come from Torna. All those side quests for nothing? I mean, well, they were required to get to the end of the game, so I guess it wasn't for nothing. Also, remember when you said Xenoblade doesn't like killing off characters? Yeah, but it got to the DLC of 2 for them to kill off 2 characters. I'm good. How about you? It's been years since I've seen you. I'm good, thanks. And that's why Bridget didn't remember this part exactly. She returned to her core crystal because Hugo died. Yeah. Yeah, but I bet she must have had a lot of drivers between Hugo and Bridget. Or, I mean, Hugo and Morag. Is he dead? Which one? It was once used as a weapon of mass destruction, so that's why it was in a slumbering state until Malos interfered. Oh, okay. Hi, Steve. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. This is why Milton is rarely featured in flashbacks. Oh, okay. Yeah, poor Milton. I love the Sandlot. Me too. And now you have Pyra. Yeah. I see that. I still don't get why... I still don't understand where Pyra came from, though. So, okay, so Mithra had some... It seems like Mithra had some sort of, like, mental breakdown. And that's when Pyra was created? It's biopunk. Why is it always biopunk? I don't know. Yo, Rebecca and everybody, how's it going this night? Hi, Bahamut. It's going good. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Language? I know, right? That's like the worst words I use, though. Oh, the last fight? Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought I had the last fight, but apparently not. Explaining Zeke's lineage, the real kingship lay with Adam. Zedder and his descendants were Tornan royalty in name only. But is that where Zeke came from? From Zedder's family? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Good to hear. Okay, I hate playing as Laura. Well, you know, I guess it's a little bit better playing as Laura because at least she's not... I can control if she uses that talent art that halves her HP, which is a really dumb talent art, if I might add. Mithra used her Aegis abilities and essentially created Pyra, who is everything that Mithra is not. They are like opposites. Okay. I don't feel like we are getting a full explanation in the game for that. You know what I mean? Like, how do we know? And how did she create Pyra exactly? Like, so is it because she had, it like seems to me like she had like a mental breakdown after Milton and like after Milton died. She had like a mental breakdown after seeing that because of everything that happened. And she like couldn't handle it in her mental state. And so that's where Pyra was created. Yeah, Zeke's a descendant because Eulogimenos admitted it was all a ruse to keep the truth covered up. I mean, I remember they admitted that they lied about being descended from Adam, but I don't remember them saying that they were descended from Zedder. But I mean, so okay, so they weren't, if they are descended from Zedder though, and yeah, yes, they did lie about being descended from Adam's like direct line, but they are related to him. Yes, she had a whole emotional breakdown and suppressed herself. Okay, okay. I mean, that makes sense. I mean that, yeah, that makes sense. It is like how people in real life, when they go into an emotional state and have a mental breakdown, sometimes what happens is that they do create like an alternate personality. So, before I knew that like Pyra was a creation of Mithra, to me, Mithra always seemed like the true light Aegis, or the true Aegis that was like the opposite of Malice, because Mithra was light and Pyra's fire, and Mithra is more powerful. I mean, I guess the game gives you hints about that, but I mean, so I think you can accurately guess that Mithra is really the true Aegis and not Pyra. It's confusing. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's, you know, they could have explained some things better. But you know what I've been thinking about lately is that I don't understand how these stories get like so complicated. You know, like these Xenoblade games have like these insanely like complicated stories that I cannot like follow 100%. And Final Fantasy stories, they're like a little easier to follow, but in more recent games, they have also gotten like crazy complicated. Also, remember Zeke has the Torna blue eyes, but Adam does not. Yeah. But Zedder has blue eyes, so that, I mean, it would make sense, but, well, but, okay, so my question is, though, did we, in the base game, did we get confirmation that Zeke and Eulogimenos are descended from Zedder? Like, I know they're Tornans, and they claim to be descended from Adam, and that was a lie. But do we know for sure they're descended from Zetter? Because if they are, I'm just saying that they are related to Adam, though. In a way, fire is derivative of light. Oh, yeah, that's true. That makes sense why Pyra is fire. But I think you can, like, from the information the base game gives you, I think you can, like, accurately guess that, like, Mithra is, like, the true Aegis. And that's why I chose, you know, remember when Rex is like, what should I call you, Pyra or Mithra? And I chose Mithra because to me, she was like the true Aegis. But at that time, I still didn't know why they were like two people. Was it a bad time to say my stories were heavily influenced by Xenoblade as far as thematics? I mean, no. I mean, the themes in Xenoblade are really interesting. Sun emits light, sun is hot. Yeah. I mean, I never really thought about why, you know, Pyro is fire before, but that makes sense. Not from Zetter specifically, but from other Tornans. You just know they are not descendants from Adam. Okay. Okay, so we don't know who they're descended from. Okay, so before we move on from this, I am gonna go take a break. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. That's part of why I talked about the commercial versus literary fiction dichotomy the other day. My editors say my stuff is definitely literary fiction, so it's very Xenoblade in a way. Ah, yeah, yep. Yeah, that's when we talked about enjoying young adult books over adult books. Yes. I mean, I just don't know how you, like, get to these stories that are, like, so insanely complicated, you know? It's like, I can get as far as, like, oh, humans created a universe that was, like, split in two, but then when it gets to the whole, like, Zanza thing, and Zanza being split in two, and then there's the universe of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which has core crystals, and the blades and drivers and titans, whole thing. I'm like, how do people come up with that stuff? Like, it's ridiculously complicated. And these stories in particular, like all of the Xenoblade stories, I've never been able to follow them 100%. Like, mostly with the Final Fantasy stories, I can follow them. I would say up until maybe Final Fantasy like 12 is when the stories started getting like insanely complicated. And I'm talking like complicated to the point where like it is no longer explained. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's an explanation for it, but like it doesn't make any sense. So I will say, I will give credit to Xenoblade games for like, they have an explanation, but like, I don't understand what it is. You know what I mean? It's like they're saying the words to me to explain, but it's not making sense in here. Big fan of ridiculously complicated. Really? I mean, I'm okay with complicated if there's like a explanation that I understand. Tolkien had a lot of really interesting quotes and discussions about that. He thinks it's direct divine inspiration to be our own creator, just like God made us. Really? Huh, interesting.
Ready to put another win under our belt?
Stained with the blood of battle. Never again.
Thanks. Come on!
For my bond.
Let's heal up. Gotcha!
For my bonds. For my bonds. If I must. If I must. Magnificent.
Come on!
Hey.
Right on target. Right on target. Yeah. Right on target.
Magnificent.
Come on.
Away. If I must. If I must.
Come on.
If I must. If I must. Away. Shut. Hey.
There. You need healing. Strike with full force.
They cover. First stage. Mass force.
Right on target. There. Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha. There. There. Gotcha. There. Gotcha. There.
Be careful, guys.
Right on target.
Magnificent.
Jin. Gotcha.
Away. 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 Away.
Magnificent.
If I must.
Come on! Haze!
Magnificent. chase.
If I must. If I must.
Magnificent.
For my pawn.
Come on!
Don't be so reckless.
If I don't do it, no one will. Away. Heal while there's time.
Right
I'm
on target!
fine. Just fine.
Please, fall back!
I'm fine. Just fine.
Right on target! There!
Great.
That's so hard fighting just like by yourself when you don't have a party.
I still want it. I still wanted to play.
Oh my god, he's so creepy.
Shameless. To the very end. You can rest easy now, Mother.
Oh, that was okay. That was really the end. Now the credits are running.
Did they mean to kill us?
I don't know. But Malus dying won't necessarily be enough to bring peace to the world. That I am certain of.
As long as there are people.
There'll always be strife, I suppose.
Don't say that. Things can change. There's always hope. Don't you think, Jin?
Yes, you're right. As long as blades and humans are bonded to each other.
Surely, someday.
Wind goes passing by through the sunset sky. This wind will carry lots of memories. When you look around, you won't see me anywhere, but you will feel in the air that I am there. For a time I will be away, with the wind gusting along. I'll just say it won't be too long. Soon enough we will meet one day.
So also, I like how Pyra just wasn't like questioned. She was just there. I mean, maybe they got an explanation and we already know who she is, so they didn't show the explanation.
Time passes by, and all we shared was a moment, I know. But that moment will shine us through to the sky. So don't look back, let the moment be forever. Speed of time was different for us. Not to say that
I double checked, nix all that. It's a fight you're not supposed to lose. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. Oh, you said something before. Okay. I didn't even read what you had said before.
Uncountable meetings and partings. Yet, as your life's candle sputters and dies, whose face is it that rises to greet you? Happy is the man who can sleep in the comfort of the smile he sees then. No, I don't wish for forever. Even just for one moment. It's enough if it's with her. And yet, what is the man to do who has not been afforded that chance? The road stretches on without end. I cannot but walk down it. As long as I keep walking, I can hold out hope that one day the time may come when I see her smile again. That hope keeps me afloat.
You won't come back.
This is the road I must walk. Our paths won't cross. But should we, in fact, ever meet again? On that day,
since that day you came into my head, our story began. So don't be scared to reach out for someone. I know you will be fine. Just go
Ah. I know that guy. I had some previous chats saying you weren't supposed to win that fight, but I was wrong. Okay. That would have been a terrible ending if we didn't win that fight, though. Okay, well, we finished Torna, so GG's. I was honestly hoping for more of an explanation of the Pyra creation. Like, I was hoping it would be a little more explained. Do you know what I mean? Like, I see that, you know, Mithra had some sort of like mental breakdown, but I wish it had been more like clearly like stated. Oh, the background picture changed. I mean, that's not a spoiler though if you played the base game, like, you know that happens. Okay, well, okay, interesting. I enjoyed it. I like that, you know, like, this is what I said before. I like that they expanded on something that was previously mentioned in the base game because you don't get to see the details. I am very shocked that they actually killed a few people. It only took 2 games and a DLC to get there, but in 3 we just go back to not killing people. So Future Redeem starting Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday and Thursday, so I'm gonna be here all stream. Yes, I will be starting Future Redeemed Tuesday. I'll play it on Thursday as well, but Friday I will be on my friend Chev Studios stream for his birthday, so I won't be playing then. Okay, so 3 if you include X. Well, I haven't played X yet, so I don't know who or who doesn't get killed there. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, okay? Here's what we're gonna do. Oh my god, it feels so weird to be, like, totally done with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, because even though I already felt weird finishing the base game, but I was like, all right, at least I have the DLC. But now, like, I am, like, really, like, 100% done with 2. Like, I feel weird. Like, I don't understand. Like, where does my life go now? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. GG, thank you, Bahamut. So since we have only been streaming for an hour and 45 minutes, what we're gonna do is, because I still have not watched that new trailer, let's go take a look at it. We can all watch together. Then I think after that, I think I'm not gonna go through like the whole thing, but I may like look up like a recap of the events of 3. You still have Future Redeemed, then you feel lost. Yeah. But then I'll go into X, so I don't know. It'll be maybe I won't feel so lost then. It's a Xenoblade year. If you play X, don't expect it to have any association with the trilogy. Okay. Like literally no connection at all. Okay, okay, so first things first, let's look up that new trailer that you guys were asking me if I saw. Because, no, I have not seen it. Okay, so, let me go look it up. Is it this What's New in Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Nintendo Switch 2 edition? It has its own story and characters. It's fun. It's just its own thing. Okay, gotcha. But does it have like any sort of like, it doesn't have any sort of connection though? Like I didn't expect it to be within the, you know, story of all the trilogy, but it doesn't have any connection. It's from like 3 days ago. Okay. Okay, I think this is it. What is your favorite chapter from Xenoblade 2? Oh my god, chapter? Dude, I don't even remember what the chapters were. How many chapters were there? 10? Dude, I don't remember. I'm not sure what's specifically, but probably one of the later chapters, because I'm always wondering about the story. We'll see a glaring reference and it is connected. Just don't expect said glaring reference to bear any effect. Okay. Okay, I think we did this one. Okay, yeah. All right, let me bring this over to this monitor. All right, so I think it's this one. It's a Switch 2 overview trailer. Okay, and oh, and Nopon. are in X2 for some reason. What do you mean for some reason? I mean, they're like a recurring race, right? Kind of like the races in Final Fantasy. Like, I would expect to see, you know, like Moogles and Chocobos in Final Fantasy. Okay, I think it's this one you guys are talking about.
Let's go to Elysium. I'll take you there myself.
Embark on an enhanced journey to reach Elysium in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Play at 60 frames per second with 4K resolution in TV mode or Full HD in handheld mode. In-game cutscenes have enhanced resolution and frame rate too. There are also new unlockable styles for Pyra and Mithra.
Oh.
You'll see new looks both during your adventure and in cutscenes.
Mithra's like an eighth queen.
That's not all. Lead your blades into battle in the new Merc Assault mode. Choose up to 6 blades and head into the fray.
Troops, move out. Best of luck to you.
Begin.
You'll have direct control over blades during these missions, and you can switch between them at any time.
Oh, where'd you get that from?
Attacking gradually fills your special gauge, and once full, you can unleash a special art. These powerful moves are key to turning the tide of battle in your favor.
Mission complete.
There's also a new rare blade, Momo.
Observing of 2 rounds different homes.
Swap between Momo's 2 modes to change not only her appearance, but also her elemental affinity. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition launches July 30th. You can purchase Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition on its own or as an upgrade pack if you already have the Nintendo Switch version of the game.
But no Nopon and Genesis. No Nopon and Genesis so far. This is true. We only saw a short trailer for it. What'd they say, Xenoblade like that? It must just be the accent. I'm so getting those. Bro, what is up with Pyra's pose in her artwork? She has a bunny tail. So excited to get Momo. I hope we really do get a Xenosaga game. Oh, is that where Momo comes from? I thought she sounded familiar. Okay, wait. Pyra's pose in her artwork. Oh, this. Oh, so that's like a. Oh, well, she does do that thing with her hand when she's talking. She always does the this, which I don't know, like where that came from. Normal people don't do that. But yeah, that's like a influencer Instagram pose. It's just very dainty, yeah. But I mean, she does do. To be fair, she does do that thing with her hand when she's talking. All right, I know these guys. We got all these guys. Okay, I mean, this looks good. However, I'm not going to go through the whole game again since I just played it, even though I did just get a Switch 2. Apparently, Bandai Namco no longer has Xenosaga on their list of games, and there was no copyright in the trailer for Momo. Ah, okay. Hi, Gambit. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Okay, so we're gonna look for not like we're not gonna watch like all of the scenes from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 because that would take forever. So most of us anyway have played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or we're familiar with it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'll just look up like a summary of it So we don't have to watch. I mean, because if we watched all of the cutscenes from 3, it would be like 4 hours. I've got work in the morning, so I'm gonna head out. Have a great night, y'all. Congrats again. Thank you, JM. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat, and have a good night and have a good day at work tomorrow. Maybe we'll do like story summary explained. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Future Redeemed in 13 minutes. Okay, well, we do not want Future Redeemed. The full Xenoblade Chronicles trilogy timeline explained. See, you know, it's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be hard to like find something that doesn't involve the DLC though. That doesn't involve Future Redeemed. Maybe we could do like, maybe we could do this video, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 ending explained. Why is that 45 minutes though? Does it take 45 minutes to explain the ending of Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Well, it might. Maybe watch the Future Redeemed trailer. Oh, we could do that. Three years ago. It was released on 4/25, 3 years ago. Okay, let's... I don't know... I don't know if this will... Okay, hold on. Full screen it. Unless you want to go in blind completely. I just want to remember like the basics story of 3 because it's been a while. How to get Momo, core crystal or DLC quest? We don't know yet. Oh, it's muted.
Niall! Granddad!
Matthew,
Granddad!
take care of Niall. The future.
Granddad!
It's in your hands, Matthew.
Okay. So something to do with Noah and Mio's kids?
What is that? That weapon
Glimmer?
can't be a blade.
All right, break it up. You want to scrap? You scrap with me.
I don't normally stoop to this. Such duplicity is beneath me.
The clockless.
What do you want to do? Shulk.
Shulk!
Careful!
An older
I
Shulk.
like your attitude, kiddo.
Rex?
I'll show him a thing goes right.
And an older Rex. So we have an older Shulk and an older Rex.
Here I go!
You stand.
This won't have any story flashbacks from 3, just Future Redeemed trailer. Okay. BTW, I love Matthew, he's great. Okay. Looking forward to it. Of core crystal, just like Cosmos or Telos. Yeah. I mean, maybe. We don't know yet. We don't have a lot of information
With or without Mobius.
about Momo yet.
Change.
Niall?
In the end, people always kill people.
I heard about that from Melia. A gift from Alvis, she called it.
This it?
Yes. The Liberator's base of operations.
Is this how badly you wish to erase us? My God.
You cannot know. Afraid to see what could
But now I'm glad I'm here. Glad I can choose for myself.
Honestly, just knowing who I'm meant to be fighting, that's the biggest thing of all.
Even having built the perfect world for themselves, humans yet desired the beyond.
Us. My God.
You cannot know. Afraid to see what could
But now I'm glad I'm here.
So this is Rex? What happened to his eye?
Glad I can choose for myself.
Honestly, just knowing who I'm meant to be fighting, that's the biggest thing of all.
Even having built the perfect world for themselves, humans yet desired the beyond.
My view. Always in fantasy land.
I've seen that.
I like the very detailed subtitles. Music picks up while vocals continue singing. Okay, 2023. I'm not that late, considering I played Xenoblade 1. Like, when did Xenoblade 1 come out? Um, 2012. So I played that really late. Okay, let me look for... Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look for just like a story recap of 3. Man, that was 3 years ago. The D came out in 2020, I think. Okay, so I'm not too late on that one. But the original, I'm pretty late. Okay, so Xenoblade Chronicles 3 story summary. I feel like, though, it's hard to... When I was looking before, it's hard... It was hard to find something that didn't include Future Redeemed. The events of Xenoblade Chronicles. Okay. Okay, I think this one is good because it doesn't seem like it has any Future Redeemed.
It really was the perfect day.
Spoilers.
But the little things made it.
So it said now that Future Redeemed is out.
The card
So that sounds like it, you know, whoever made this video didn't have, you know,
I know this seems crazy.
if it had just come out, they didn't have time to play Future Redeemed.
So in this video, with Future Redeemed out now, Xenoblade 3 story is complete. But I've seen a lot of people still have a lot of questions remaining regarding the timeline of events, as well as how the origin stuff works. So in this video, I want to break down the timeline of events that lead to Xenoblade 3, as well as answer specific questions that you might still have about plot points as well as I can. Because the game leaves us many questions that can be answered if you take a look at the greater story told throughout all Xenoblade games. So obviously this video will contain spoilers for all Xenoblade games, and I will also touch on Xenosaga stuff that I don't consider spoilers. And before we jump into this
as
video,
long as
just
we're
a
not,
quick reminder that
you
this
know,
is a very new and small
going over
channel,
Future
and
Redeemed.
I appreciate every single comment and like, as well as subscription. Thank you very much. To fully understand Future Redeemed and its ending, I need to cover the events prior to Xenoblade 3. Even if you
maybe we will have spoilers for Future Redeemed. Okay, let's just get out of there real quick. Why does everything include future redeemed? Okay, I might have to go for this 45-minute one. Because, like, everything else includes future redeemed. Okay, let's try this one.
Xenoblade 3 has been out for a month now, and just like with 2 4.5 years ago, people are sort of confused as to exactly what happened.
Okay, so it sounds like when this video was made, Future Redeemed was not even out. What's up? Hey, Boiling Blood, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Yeah, it looks like most are 45 minutes or so. Okay. So it takes 45 minutes to explain the story of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Don't you think at that point maybe the story is a little too complicated? All done with Torna, yeah. So now we are recapping the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 so I can prepare for Future Redeem, because I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 like over a year ago. I don't remember everything. Also, I was really confused because I hadn't played 1 and 2. I did not understand the ending of Xenoblade 3 at all, but maybe I will now. Is that Luxon? I have no idea. Who is this? Yes, it is. Endgame is fun. Hell to grind to check DPS. Yeah. We'll miss the part with your fight against Malos. I mean, you can always rewind. He will explain stuff? Okay, good. Alright, let's watch.
But unlike that time, I now have a YouTube channel dedicated to analyzing and discussing the series, so let's clarify things to the best of my current knowledge right here, right now. Hopefully enough people have actually finished the game already, so this video will actually get views, because I like being able to capitalize on new releases to make numbers get bigger. While I trust my viewers to not click on a video saying ending explained without having seen the ending of the game, I do still have to give you a spoiler warning because I will be discussing—
Okay, I should also probably mention that there will be mega spoilers for Xenoblade 1 and 2 as well, and some optional quests in 3 that can be accessed before the post-game. Okay, nothing about Future Redeemed. It sounds like this came out before Future Redeemed. He makes crazy theory videos and sometimes he is on point. Oh, really? Nice. That sounds like I would like him.
Content from post-game side quests that will only show up if you're—
I should subscribe to him. 40k subscribers? Dang.
either in New Game Plus or reload your cleared save after defeating the final boss. So it's perfectly okay to go do that stuff first. Make sure to drop a subscription though so you can find the video easier, and then come back once you've seen all of that.
He will also always put that notation for spoilers there. Okay.
I'm talking about here.
That's awesome of him.
Out of the way, let us begin. The unique thing about Xenoblade 3 compared to the other games in the series is how subtle it is with a lot of its points. Several things are very understated or left entirely to subtext, and it's up to the player to piece it together using additional information from potentially having played Xenoblade 1 and 2 beforehand. Don't feel bad if you didn't completely understand the ending your first time around, especially if Xeno isn't like your biggest favorite series of all time, or if you're just in general a more casual fan. I have seen some ludicrous takes and quote-unquote explanations regarding the ending that amount to nothing more than basic media literacy failure, and I think understanding at least some of the ending is a very good test to see if you have basic media literacy, but understanding what the game was going for on a plot and thematic level, even if you don't necessarily like it, only accounts for really one of 3 categories of things you need to understand in order to get the ending. The second category is, as I've been talking about beforehand, the subtly explained things or stuff that's not directly stated to the player, and that's the stuff that you are very likely to miss on your first go-around. And then the third category, I don't really have any better way to put it, it's the Nia category, because she has 2 very important exposition dumps. The first one comes at the end of Chapter 6 / beginning of Chapter 7, and in between that and the ending, when a lot of it becomes relevant, is the Origin Medal Hunt, and the Origin Dungeon itself, which have a few cutscenes associated with them, plus you also unlock a massive amount of side quests, which is probably going to sidetrack you, so you're going to forget about a lot of that exposition dump by the time you actually beat Zed. And then secondly, her post-game exclusive hero quest contains a bit more subtext and explicit, overt text that would have been really nice to know before seeing the ending for the first time. So yeah, that's stuff that just straight up should have been in the main story that was probably taken out of it and stuck into post-game. So with all that preamble out of the way, let's actually get to directly explaining the ending of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. The ending is definitely a lot more ambiguous and a lot more bittersweet than those of 1 and 2, which...
I played and finished XB1 and partially played XB2 up to 70%, and I still couldn't understand a lot of stuff in XB3. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Like this, I was talking about this earlier. These games are like these game stories are insanely complicated. Like I don't even know how you come up with a story that is this complicated. And the thing is, like, they have explanations for the story, but even those are so ridiculously complicated that I don't understand the explanations. This is why I have to look up videos like this. Like, I have never understood any of the Xenoblade Chronicles stories, like 100% on my own. I've always had to look something up, or you guys have to explain something to me. Like, I would say I get like 70% of it, but the rest, it needs to be explained to me. Hello, hi Popo, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Still don't know where Zed came from. I feel like, okay, I don't remember, but I feel like that was explained, but I can't remember what the explanation was. So when it comes to 3, I mean, you know, I played it over a year ago. I'm not going to remember most of the stuff. This is why I'm watching this recap video now. Vague explanations. I mean, they're very extensive explanations, actually. I just don't understand them.
The rest of Xenoblade 3, overwhelming melancholy is probably the best 2-word description for the game I can think of. But it's actually a lot more on the sweet end of bittersweet than you might initially think. And I'm going to just straight up say that my thesis statement for this entire video is, if you think the ending is not a happy ending, you did not understand it. And I'm going to try and prove that throughout everything else I have to say.
Okay.
Gucci Flora, gorgeous orchid.
Okay, we're gonna get a lot of ads in a 45-minute video.
Picking up after the gameplay portion of the final boss fight, the first thing that might confuse you is why N and M needed to sacrifice themselves in the first place. The key is the line about how they embody the...
Okay, this I don't remember. Bless you, thank you. There's Lord Zed, I mean Z. Wait, what?
Same desire as Zed. Mobius is just conglomerated human wishes to remain in the Endless Now, formed by their fear and uncertainty as to whether or not the Origin plan would actually work when the worlds were about to collide. N and M desire a different Endless Now than that, just one where they can be together, but because they have the same base desire as all of humanity locked in Origin, them even existing powers up Zed, so their sacrifice actually weakens him enough so that everything else that's been thrown at him for the past hour of gameplay will actually finish him off. In a bit more of a speculative sense, I think it also helps the...
This is at the end of the boss fight with Zed. Okay, I vaguely remember this. The British folks call theirs ZZ, and there's a villain in Power Rangers called Lord Zed. Oh, really? I don't remember that. I mean, I used to watch like a little Power Rangers, not like a lot.
Noah and Mio we play as activate Origin properly with less risk of something like Ionios happening again. We learn that everyone is a bit Mobius because feeling the emotions that make up Zed when you're faced with the fear and uncertainty of a future you can't possibly know anything about is a very human thing, so I think a version of Noah and Mio that completely gave in to the Endless Now dying right before Noah and Mio have to use Origin and hope it doesn't screw up and create another Endless Now helps that out a little bit. Because keep in mind, the entire assault on Origin was basically just taken on blind faith that things would work out somehow. They did not know if defeating Zed would actually work in the first place, or even if they did and regained control of Origin, whether or not it would be able to work properly this time. So I think that the fact that the Queens gave the option of whether or not to do that or become Mobius to the party instead of just using the keys they had themselves was also based on the fact that they had more Mob in them than Noah and Mio at the time, in addition to the usual giving the next generation a chance to seize the future for themselves thing that is really Xenoblade in a nutshell. The entire scene...
Okay, wait, what? Okay, so, but also, like, nobody knows if anything's gonna work, right? Like, in any game that I've played, nobody knows if anything's gonna work. We just have to go try it and see if it works.
That takes place on the big grassy bluff with the Queens talking to the party and the images of the two Earths up in the sky, that is not real. Now, I know there's a conversation earlier in the game about how Ionios itself might not actually be real, and there is actually some wiggle room. That's worth another video in and of itself, but it's not entirely certain as to whether or not Ionios is literally the worlds of Xenoblade 1 and 2 frozen mid-collision, or a patchwork recreation of the two of them after Zed took control of Origin, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I mean, very similar to the Dreamscape Elysium or all of the space things Alvis shows Shulk, this is just a simulated environment that everyone was pulled into by the Queens to talk and allow the party members to safely make their decision, because right after Noah says the choice is easy, it cuts back to the arena that Zed was fought on, with everything else exactly as it was before N and M sacrificed themselves, and then the core of Origin changes color from the Mobius-y pinky color to a better looking blue thing. So I think that even within the Endless Now that is Ionios, time didn't pass while that entire vision was happening. And yeah, Origin was designed to recreate worlds after they were destroyed. It's not a stretch to say that it also has the ability to do something like that, especially because some of its construction was probably heavily inspired by the Trinity processors, and, well, that's a thing Alvis, Pyra, Mithra, and Malos were all able to do. Most of the conversation itself isn't super important, but we will get back to Monica and Gondor's lines later. Far as I
can't wait for you to start XB3 Future Redeem. I personally think that's the best DLC expansion so far. Really? Okay, well, we're gonna start it on Tuesday.
Can tell the sunrise just means the usual metaphorical stuff it means when something like that happens near the end of a piece of media, and it also seems like the two sets of protagonists went to their respective nation's castle for a bit, because while the time of day seems roughly the same, it does look like there was at least a small time, at least relative to Ionios, skip in between that part of the scene and Noah chucking Lucky 7 off the side of the castle. Him doing that is just for symbolism. It is symbolic of the guy who literally never wanted to fight in the first place, not having to fight anymore. Sure, freeing people from the flame clocks meant that the people of Ionios were able to choose not to continue fighting each other, But Noah was still Ouroboros, which meant that he was one of the few people in the world capable of freeing people from the Flame Clocks and taking the fight to Mobius in the first place. Plus, he's a decent enough guy, so he wouldn't leave the rest of the world to its fate. So it did take until now before the final people who were stuck in the system were capable of choosing the path they themselves wanted. Yes, he could still summon his blade back to his hand whenever he wanted after he does this, but he doesn't need it anymore, so he never would. Then we cut to everyone together again, the ending theme starts playing, and we get something that blindsided way more people.
I agree. Future Redeemed is a great DLC and a great ending to the saga. Okay. Oh boy. Well, I can't wait to see it, especially since we just watched the trailer. Yeah, I didn't know Shulk and Rex would be in it. Matthew, Endgame OP. Oh yeah. What time do you usually stream so I can hop on earlier? 8:30 p.m. Central is when I usually start. What a waste throwing off Lucky 7 like that. Well, I mean, like you said, he could summon it back anytime.
It would. The fact that
it's just symbolic.
Now saying goodbye to each other, as the Endless Now stopping, means the two worlds will be separate once again. This was actually telegraphed very, very hard earlier in the game. There is some greater elaboration on this locked behind Nia's post-game hero quest, but it is outright stated in her speech earlier on when she explains Origin for the first time that its purpose was not to merge the two worlds together. All Origin was supposed to do was reboot the world to their previous states after they collided and destroyed each other in a massive annihilation event. It was not designed to merge the two worlds together whatsoever, simply recreate them as they were prior to destroying each other, and it was this process of rebooting the worlds that was halted and interrupted by Mobius creating the Endless Now. So when Mobius was eliminated, Origin was restarted and the reboot process was allowed to carry out as intended.
The card that's preferred for a reason. Chase Sapphire Preferred.
So fast, so fine. Got another provider, leave them behind. Come on, everybody, let's.
Which means the two worlds finished annihilating each other, but then as time began to tick again, Origin properly recreated them, and they basically continued existing as they were prior to the collision, with no loss of continuity. There is, of course, the existential conundrum that arises in certain things like this in sci-fi where people are just...
Okay, so when I first got to the World Tree in 2, in the base game of 2, and we went inside and we discovered it was like made of all metal, and we saw there was a giant data center inside, my theory was that we were in like some sort of computer simulation. And so that's, I mean, that is basically what's happening. Like this is very like sci-fi. And like in 2, like the core crystals are like gathering data, like Klaus designed the core crystals so they would like gather data. And Alvis, Mithra, and Malos are the core processors. Like, so they're just like they're just programs. Like they're just doing what they're programmed to do. I see you stream around the time I get off work in my time zone, provided that the managers don't demand extensions. Oh, really? Well, I mean, see, that's the good thing about YouTube. You can always go back and watch them later. They're always up on my channel. Unlike Twitch, like Twitch only keeps your streams for, if you're an affiliate, they only keep your streams for on your channel for a week. And I think if you're a partner, it's like a 30 days or something. But YouTube keeps up any stream I have, it just turns it into a video, keeps it up forever. I have a random Dave the Diver stream that still gets views. And I played Dave the Diver like 4 years ago.
Destroyed and recreated seemingly exactly the same as they were, where just because someone has the same DNA and memories of a previous version of themselves doesn't necessarily mean they're the exact same person, but even that doesn't seem to be an issue in this case, as it is explicitly stated that Origin also contained people's souls, So at worst, this is someone's memory and soul being completely removed from their previous body and stored in Origin when the worlds destroyed each other, and then replaced into an exact replica of that same body. And this does not contradict soldiers coming out of their cradles without any previous memories, as Y very clearly states in the required Mio side story that most soldiers go through basic conditioning before they're awoken, which would scrub them of all memories, both of their previous lives on Ionios and of their original lives in one of the two split worlds. Taking this a step further, the final scene of Nia's hero quest, which while it is locked to the postgame does canonically take place before the final battle, shows that everyone is aware that the worlds will separate again and people will lose their memories of Ionios prior to going in and taking the fight to Zed. Which means the result we see was not an unintended side effect of reactivating Origin.
See, that's I did not understand that. I very clearly remember not understanding that the worlds would separate and they, like, our party members wouldn't remember each other and wouldn't see each other again. That's true, but it's different when live. Before I didn't care. I just watched the replay of stream. I'm so used to live now. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it is true that, you know, you can't interact with me watching a VOD. But, I mean, worst case scenario is that you watch the VOD. Was gonna refer Luxon, but you found him. If you're a Xenoblade fan, then Luxon will find you at some point. I guess so. And I just subscribed to him. Rebecca, good night. Take care. Be safe. All right, wrestling fan. Thank you so much for coming in. Have a good night. So I remember being like so confused and not understanding that the worlds would separate and they'd never see each other again. And I was like, why is everyone so sad about, you know, like not seeing each other? I was like, why is everyone so sad?
It was a sacrifice at least the party and possibly everyone fighting against Mobius was intentionally trying to make. As while the quote-unquote good ending that does happen is far from the perfect resolution to this situation, the alternative is far worse. If the party lost, everyone still alive would have gotten wiped out by Mobius, who would then go on to use cradles to make more soldiers and start the endless war again to sustain themselves, but this time there wouldn't even be a city to provide a third faction and help create Ouroboros, so the fighting would continue uninterrupted until annihilation events slowly ate away at what remained of Ionios' land area, and everything ceased to be because even Mobius cannot have eternity. With that additional context, the whole goodbye scene probably makes a lot more sense to you now, and the only things that might be confusing to you are seeing heroes that you did not necessarily unlock in your playthrough when it pans over people from both nations, with the most confusing one being an adult Ethel.
Okay, now that is something I did do. I did get all the heroes. And I did do all the hero quests, except I didn't do Mia and Melia's hero quests because those were post-game. Time for me to go to bed as well. Have a good night. All right, Reina, thank you so much for coming in. Have a good night.
Basically, the ending is a pre-rendered cutscene, which means if they wanted to have variations of it to reflect the amount of side content you did, they would need to render every single different version of it and have each version of it take up different file space, which would make the game massive and be a ridiculous undertaking to do because you can unlock any amount of optional heroes in any permutation you want, which means there are literally thousands of different combinations that they would need to render, which is extremely unfeasible to do on many levels, so they're just going to assume you did all the side content. If you are confused about Silvercoat showing back up, doing Kamaravi's quest involves the first-termer Ethel that was in a cradle taken to the city from Keva's castle by the Lost Numbers get released, and after doing all of that questline, you can also unlock a small event at Colony Omega, where Ethel will then use a cradle that was left over there to accelerate her aging back to a 10th termer so she can fight alongside the heroes again, which will unlock the Ascension for her class.
I did that.
And allow you to add her back into the party. So this is not a plot hole. This scene specifically assumes you did all of the side content, and if you have done all of the side content, there will be a 10th termer version of Ethel running around the world again. And so, the party members say their heartfelt goodbyes, the queens offer a few words, and as Origin kicks into gear, the worlds begin to separate again, and soon everything fades into light, time begins to flow again, and we're returned back to the rest of the opening cutscene, as a young Noah, the original Noah, and his friends carry on with their lives in the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 1. A world still steadily marching towards the future Shulk and his companions envisioned for it, none the wiser that there was another world so similar and yet so different from their own, only a step away.
What?
This seems like a cop-out it was all a dream ending, and I can forgive you for thinking that your first go-around, but that is definitely not the case, and I made a lot of omissions when describing some of that stuff before, so let's go in depth and show why there really isn't a lot to worry about when it comes to the worlds being separate. A phrase you might be tempted to throw around when it comes to what happened to Ionios at the end of the game is retconned out of existence, because it ceases to exist, and the two separate worlds that existed prior to its creation come back. However, that is not the case. In no sense of the word was time reset or rewritten. It was simply paused by Mobius at the moment of Origin's activation, and allowed to flow again after Mobius's defeat. It just so happened that the thing that happened next after the moment time was paused in for so long was the original worlds coming back into existence, because that's what Origin was supposed to do. Melia sums this point up quite nicely in the cutscene after you rescue her, where Taion begins to question basically everything, saying that because Ionios is a creation of Mobius, then that means the world and everyone living in it is false. And the response given by Melia, someone who came from the original world, someone who remembers things as they used to be, is very telling. Everything that exists is reality. Ionios was real. Everything that took place there did happen. Ionios was a real place that did exist and did have its own history and struggles. The events of Xenoblade 3 and story of Ionios are things that took place in the past, just as the events of Xenoblade 1 and 2 were, the only difference being all of those events were condensed within one endless now, one moment of eternity. Moreover, just because Ionios wasn't supposed to exist, and just because it occupies a singular point on the timeline, it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. Everything that existed there was reality, and it all mattered. Every single life, both brought over from Origin or created anew in Ionios. Every victory, every triumph, every small joy that could be won with great sacrifice from such an oppressive world still mattered. Those centuries upon endless centuries of death and of rebirth, of heroism.
Okay, so now, the games always had a lot of philosophical and like ethical and moral questions come up, but now we're adding like what is real, which is also a big philosophy topic. Like, how do you know anything is real? How do you know we're not like living in the Matrix? The only ones that remember the two separate worlds in XB3 are Melia and Nia. Yeah. Yeah, and so, okay, so I think I understand. So I think I understand what Taion is saying when he's saying like, well, if it's not supposed to, if this world is like not supposed to exist, then is anything real?
And heartbreak.
Okay, let's listen to that again.
Singular over just in Xenoblade are struggles. Place everything that took place in reality is very telling. Everything that exists is reality. Ionios was real. Everything that took place there did happen. Ionios was a real place that did exist and did have its own history and struggles. The events of Xenoblade 3 and story of Ionios are things that took place in the past, just as the events of Xenoblade 1 and 2 were, the only difference being all of those events were condensed within one endless now, one moment of eternity. Moreover, just because Ionios wasn't supposed to exist, and just because it occupies a singular point on the timeline, it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. Everything that existed
Okay, so the events of Xenoblade 3 happened in like one moment.
reality. And it all mattered. Every single life, both brought over from Origin or created anew in Ionios. Every victory, every triumph, every small joy that could be won with great sacrifice from such an oppressive world still mattered. Those centuries upon endless centuries of death and of rebirth, of heroism and heartbreak, of life and of loss, of sorrow.
Okay, so we are going to finish watching this, but I think it's time for me to take a break. So I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Let's continue the video.
And song, defined by a hope for the future that still persists in spite of everything, that all still happened between 2 ticks of the clock.
Nike shoes.
Oh my god, so many ads.
It's like nature-y.
I mean, I'm okay with ads because YouTube, you know, gives us all this content for free. But like, there's so many.
It might be a bit melodramatic, but do keep in mind how many characters, including Nia, have lines at the end saying that they're sure the people from opposite worlds will meet again someday. And what we see in the post-credits scene, I think this separation is going to be a lot more short-term than you'd initially think. So yeah, about that ending scene.
Was that Poppy?
Noah's about to follow his friends off towards the castle to see the fireworks, when Mio's off-seeing tune begins to play, and he has this wistful smile that shows he seems to be recognizing some of this. Now, obviously, everyone in the plaza isn't literally hearing this song play. This is just symbolic of some form of memories of Ionios kicking in Noah, because before Time Freeze happened, he just had the memories of his own childhood. But when he was created after the Endless Now, he should also now have some small undertones of his memories from Ionios. And that's because, well...
Average ads for a 20-minute video is about 6 to 8, I think. It's awful. Wow, really? I mean, I have noticed that ads have increased lately, but everything is getting more expensive also, so that also makes sense. Yeah, because you see Poppy running to Nia at the end of XP3. I do not remember that, but I also wouldn't have known who Poppy was. Now I do.
It's still the same Noah's soul that was stored in Origin. The Noah we see in the opening cutscene was put in Origin, then he was reincarnated through Ionios a bunch of times, and then recreated out on the other side in the reborn Xenoblade 1 world. And then there are so many cases throughout the entirety of the game that show memory erasure through Origin isn't nearly as absolute as, say, a blade returning to its core crystal. People retain memories of their past lives, and you have all of them returned to you when you become Mobius, so those memories are also stored in Origin, and have some clear effect on
But you won't have a
souls.
recollection of that because you played the games
Noah
in
the
reverse
post-credit
order.
Scene,
Yeah.
who now contains some
I mean, I might
Ionios
remember
is
that scene, but I
capable of,
wouldn't have known who
at least
Poppy
in
was
some
at the
subtle
time.
way, remembering the connection he had with Mio and recalling her song. And as a really, really neat touch, if you go to the scene of the parties trying to run and reunite, you can see that Noah has Miyabi's flute that Mio traded to him in his hand, and the melody that plays in the post-credit scene is on the flute that Noah traded to Mio. So he's not just remembering the general concept of off-seeing, he's very specifically remembering Mio and the connection he has to her. And then, if you look at the big zoom-out shot at the end of the post-credit scene, and look very closely at Noah and follow where he's walking, when the birds fly across the screen, completely obscuring everything, Noah disappears, because in the couple seconds after that, he is no longer present where he once was. And once again, this is a pre-rendered cutscene, which means this wasn't a technical limitation of the Switch or anything. They intentionally made Noah's model no longer present after the birds fly by.
How many people do you think noticed that?
But what could this possibly mean? Well, what thing is Noah capable of doing that causes his body to disappear? Interlinking with Mio. When you interlink, you and your partner's bodies both seem to disintegrate into ether, and then that then combines to form the body of the Ouroboros. So, it's possible that since Tyon's explanation for how to transform is you can take that form via a strong desire or emotion, that Noah, now that he has his memories of Ionios buried deep down there, recalls a little bit about Mio, and that makes him so emotional, it inadvertently triggers an interlink, uniting the pair of them for the first time outside of Ionios. Additionally, if you read a transcription of the ending theme Where We Belong's lyrics, there are some very interesting lines. Both this song and the insert song from the prison sequence, A Step Away, are sung by a woman, but context clues make it pretty evident that the narrator of both songs is Noah, or rather N for A Step Away, and the Noah we play as for Where We Belong. This means two things. First off, this means that Noah, at least indirectly, wrote a song, which means his dream of creating his own stuff as a musician did come to fruition. And second off, it means we can analyze the lyrics of Where We Belong from the perspective of a Noah near the end of the game. Most of the song is about how he thought he and Mio would be together forever, because that's just how it feels sometimes when you're in love, but then realizing that that's basically just what N wanted and would preserve the Endless Now, so it's better for everyone involved and the world for them to separate for a time, but he has strong belief that they'll be able to see each other again because he knows their feelings for each other will never fade, and that's pretty cut and dry. That goes along with what I've been saying the entire time. However, there are some other lines that don't really track with anything that directly happens in Xenoblade 3, so I think they're kind of important. The first one is near the end, and I think is just important to point out in terms of the tone of the ending and not anything theory-wise or explanation-wise, and that is, these happy days must carry on, so once again, let's go back to the start. And I think this is emblematic of how most of the party members are viewing the end of the game. Remember, all of the soldiers of Keves and Agnes were people that existed in the worlds of Xenoblade 1 and 2 before Mobius took control of Origin, which means, with Origin resetting, all of those people were brought back, whether or not a version of them was currently alive at the time. And then you might also think that everyone born in Ionios, that means the people from the city and the Napon, were retconned out of existence. But if you go back to Melia's explanation, she says, everything that exists is reality, present lives and future ones. Mobius aside, the wills of countless people persist inside of Origin. And when she refers to future lives, it shows the Ouroboros candidate squad, the baby from the sex ed scene, Gondor, Monica, Aggie, and
The sex ed scene.
So she refers to someone from one of the original worlds who has memories of all that and knows what will happen when Origin is rebooted, refers to the people from the city as lives from the future.
Do you ever think that your life as a parent feels like a juggling act? With Purdue Global, the juggling act?
She also basically directly states that even people born in Ionios were stored in Origin, which means their souls were recorded. They exist too. And since they're all descendants of people who existed in the previous worlds, who now exist again, all that needs to happen is overcoming the trivial barrier of interdimensional travel so the exact same couples can get together a second time, and the exact same people will be able to be born again eventually, with the only downside, of course, being the people from the city we meet in the game never actually getting to meet the reborn versions of the main party because they come from so many generations in the future. This, of course, raises a few issues with the relative ages of characters as they exist.
Luxon is a rite of passage for every Xeno fan. Oh, is that right? Oh, I guess I'm officially a Xeno fan then. Like, I didn't even know who Luxon was until I clicked on this video.
Outside of Ionios, but I personally believe that Mobius explicitly chose people who were children when they were stored in Origin to create as soldiers for their endless war. They were all awoken as young people in the first place because younger people are livelier, which means their life force is more nourishing to Mobius. And then there's also the general idea that the younger a person is, the less memories they will have, which means if you're trying to use some sort of conditioning to erase their memories and make them an obedient soldier to your cause, it's a lot easier because there's less data to expunge. And there's also, again, a line from Melia where she talks about her dream of youths fighting, and while this can obviously apply to just the fact that everyone awoken as a soldier is in the body of someone between 10 and 20 years old, I also think this is Melia, who does not look too much older from Xenoblade 1, viewing these people as children relative to her. So I don't think we're going to have a particularly big issue of 18-year-old Mio meeting 88-year-old Taion and trying to start up their friendship again, but it's completely awkward because he was a grandfather before she was born. This is, of course, backed up by the fact that we see the entire Keves quartet as young children in the beginning and ending scenes, and one other small thing about an Agnes character I'll get to later. So from the Queen's perspective, all of Ionios and the entire fight against Mobius was a twofold reaffirmation that the future is going to be bright, because they got to see both the immediate next generation, that is, the people who were put into Origin as children, and the far future descendants of those people succeed, which means they both know beyond a shadow of a doubt that even long after they're gone, there will always be young people with the will to shape worlds for the better to pass the torch on to. Then from the perspective of the party, what's going on? Well, everyone's been freed from the shackles of the Flame Clock and death and rebirth at the hands of Mobius, and the worlds will be reconstructed, which will put everyone back in the life they had beforehand, which means the cycle technically is going to continue for one more iteration, but this is the last one. Basically, the soldiers of Keves and Agnes are going around the Mobius strip one more time. Everyone gets one last chance at life, except this time they are given a full lifespan and the freedom of choice to make it the kind of life they want to live, with no fighting necessary unless they really want to pull a Rhine and join the defense force in what seems to be a time of peace. And while of course things can go wrong and those worlds are not going to be perfect, you have to remember what those worlds are. They're still the futures of Xenoblade 1 and 2, and we know the people who were set up to shape the world after the end of those games pretty well, and I'm pretty sure that they do a much better job at making a world children could grow up in safely than Mobius. Anyone who is screwed over by Ionios being Ionios is getting another chance in a world that isn't actively hostile to their existence, which means in the far future, there will be a Shania who, while she might still not have the greatest mother, will also not have the expectations of her family placed on her, or a father and sister who died in battle. And she's probably still going to have a best friend named Gondor, who might also have some small memories of her past life, that might give her an indication she needs to change up the way she's supporting her friend and getting her through tough times. So anyone who is given the short end of the stick in Ionios, which is going to be a lot of people, because Xenoblade 3 is very heavily on the nurture end of nature versus nurture, and Mobius are kind of the worst people to nurture children, is going to have a chance in a world that is going to give them a much, much kinder upbringing than they could ever find in the Endless Now. Basically, from the character's perspective, the ending is less, wow, that's kind of bad, we got rid of Mobius and stopped the Endless Now, breaking the cycle of the flame clocks, but now the worlds are going to be separate and we're never going to see the people we love again. And more, okay, we're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of people we care about, because we're going to be separated, potentially for a long time. Long enough where we're going to forget almost everything about each other. But we will meet again, so keep the faith until then. And then Noah turns into the camera and says, alright, let's do this one more time. Properly. So remember when this was about song lyrics? Because I barely do. Anyway, I promise the other lyric I need to talk about is going back to the thread of Noah potentially interlinking in the post-credit scene. And that is, the first two lines of the chorus are, I see you peacefully, you're in your dreams. Now, because of poetic license, I'm not sure if this means Noah watches Mio sleep, or if he's just looking at her when her head's in the clouds daydreaming. But it doesn't matter because neither of those things really happens in the story or is implied to at any point. So it's possible that this song might not be from the perspective of endgame Noah, but post-game Noah, writing lyrics from what little snippets of memory of Ionios he can recall, and from the interactions across the world he is able to have with Mio in the present timeline. Without giving away other Xeno games, having a fated romantic partner and memories of them in your dreams and seeing them in special ways through stuff like that is very on brand for this series, so I wouldn't be surprised if Noah and Mio, not even the queens, are the two people who recall their memories from Ionios the most strongly. Now keep in mind,
we had the best time. Until we got even more of it. The card that's preferred for a reason. Chase Sapphire Preferred.
This summer, let flavor ring with thick-cut pork chops seasoned with Hidden Valley Ranch. Zesty.
From the perspective of basically anyone in either world, Origin worked at some point, but it worked so well that we didn't even feel the moment the worlds were destroyed and recreated. And, okay, maybe I have these weird emotions or snippets of memory in the back of my head, but that's a thing people always have. I'm not going to jump to conclusions about there being an Endless Now world in the moment it was supposed to activate, and I actually lived hundreds of lives where I died in battle a bunch of times. That's not going to happen. It's going to take some convincing that Ionios even existed in the first place, which means someone's going to need to dredge up enough memory to be able to confirm that it did exist. And because of their connection, Noah and Mio are almost certainly going to be the first people in either world to do that. Like, Melia and Nia, they're not going to remember as strongly as Noah and Mio are. After the anniversary celebration, Melia is going to finish watching the fireworks, probably have dinner, hang out with her friends and family, then go back to her bedroom, pop open the interdimensional Zoom call, and confirm with Nia, yep, Origin worked. That was great. It was wonderful working with you. I hope we can stay in touch. What about book clubs on Fridays? Even the queens probably aren't going to have any strong indication that Mobius happened at all, and might take some convincing, because let's be real, if Noah walked up to you and had this whole elaborate story about a world where he was the hero and had a cool girlfriend, you're probably not going to believe him. So there's going to be some process in everyone recalling Ionios, but I think they will, hopefully without the trauma of dying hundreds of times, eventually. What I say next is purely going to be based on headcanon, but it's a very useful tool for setting up the last point I need to make about the ending. This is the story of a young man named Noah. He lives in the town outside the capital of Alchemoth, the city from which Her Majesty Melia Antuco reigns. He has three best friends named Uni, Lance, and Yorin, and looks up to an older boy named Chris, wanting to be a musician just like him. He'd always been a kind and thoughtful boy, but ever since the day of the Queen's anniversary celebration, the same day Origin was supposed to activate, he's been a little different, and perhaps a little more distant even to his closest friends. This is because he's been inexplicably feeling visions or beats of emotion that he can't quite understand, and has small snippets of memories of dreams of another world, one where people from his world had to fight against people from another to survive, and where he, no matter the life, would always meet a girl named Mio. After some time and some growing, he was eventually able to gain an audience with the queen herself, and tell her about these visions, awakening deep buried memories within her soul as well, and making her recall the promise her and her friend from the other world, Nia, made to see each other in person again someday. What are they supposed to do then, though? Clearly people from both worlds want to see each other again, and no one would be opposed to the idea of at the very least making a bridge between them if not combining them outright, but how exactly does one go about achieving a feat like that? Origin itself was a rush job combining the intellects of both worlds and pushing them to their limit, and even that was only designed to recreate the two worlds, not bridge them or alter them in any major way. In a situation like this, who exactly are you supposed to call upon? Well, in this case, the answer lies in how much time has actually passed from the endings of Xenoblade 1 and 2 and the moment when the Endless Now occurred. Before I reveal that, there is one very important thing that I need to bring up, and that is the fact that it is probably possible for at least some time after the worlds were recreated for them to still communicate between each other. And that is because the communication method itself is light. It's not explained beyond that and doesn't really make physical sense, but the point remains that it is explicitly stated the way Melia and Nia were able to communicate with each other and coordinate the construction of the two halves of Origin was with light. It is also definitely worth mentioning that in both Noah's monologue right before the credits, the one that ends with Walk On, and Mio's over her diary in the post-game save screen, they both mention their memories of each other fading into the morning light. And, well, if their memories are fading away into the communication method that their two worlds use to get in contact with each other, I think they're definitely going to be able to remember each other. Just a hunch. Either way, I can't really think of a reason why the communication line the two queens were using would be closed after Origin activated. It seems like the worlds were, in some metaphysical sense, getting physically closer to each other before they collided, and the closer they got, the better they could communicate. And in a sense, Origin recreating them basically allowed them to pass through each other and keep moving in opposite directions, so it is possible the communications would fade over time, but again, as long as they can remember their memories of Ionios while they're still able to contact each other, I think the process of the worlds coordinating on a new project, one to bridge them together instead of recreate them separately, is going to start. That's all well and good, but what does the duration of the time skip between the ends of 1 and 2 and 3 have to do with any of this? Well, for that, we need to go back to Neo-related stuff, starting with one of the scenes in her side quest. She and Mio have a one-on-one conversation in the statue room in the city that lays on a bunch of very heavy subtext suggesting that Mio is in fact Nia's daughter, as we were initially theorizing when the first trailer came out, but thought had been debunked by the way Ionios worked in the first place, which is honestly very, very funny. More importantly than that, perhaps...
Okay, I have to say I still don't like completely understand everything, but maybe when I play Future Redeemed, I'll understand.
Is the fact that Nia says she didn't expect she'd get to talk with her like this, and says that in a couple different ways, that I took to mean not only did she not expect she'd be able to talk one-on-one with Mio without the whole dynamic of being mother and daughter, or the fact that she wanted to talk to this specific Mio and not just M, but I also am interpreting that as the Mio she knows as her daughter, the one from outside of Ionios, is not as old as the one she's talking to right now, and as such, they wouldn't be able to have this adult conversation that they're having currently. This is obviously a very neat change of pace for Nia. She might not always be around to...
Future Redeemed answers some things, but still got a lot of gaps. Okay. Yeah, that tracks with a way that these stories are written these days. Like, even Final Fantasy has gotten ridiculously complicated. Like, I think from, like, Final Fantasy 13 and on, I have not completely understood the stories. Or wait, no, hold on. Except for 8. Final Fantasy 8, I still don't understand the ending at all.
see her daughter grow up, and she gets a flash forward of what this is going to be like, and again knows that the future is going to be in good hands. And it also backs up, first off, the idea that it was only people who were young, like within the 10-year term span in the previous worlds, that got pooped out into the flame clock system. And that in every iteration, Noah and Mio are relative in age. The 1-year age gap is probably still there, as was shown with N and M, but it does seem like no matter what, Noah and Mio are always exactly 1 year apart, so there's not going to be any weirdness with them meeting and all of a sudden having a massive age gap. So that's all well and good. We've got a protagonist in this game that is the child of a protagonist of a previous game, which is something I think we were all expecting when we first heard that 3 was going to be a sequel. But what does this really mean for anything? Well, just because Nia is a flesh eater and might be able to live an indeterminate amount of time, doesn't mean Mio was born centuries after the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. When the queens are reminiscing in the ending, we get a few different fan service shots. We see that Melia has hung on to the Monado Rex from Future Connected as a keepsake, and that Poppy was actually the information gathering device in the Cloud Keep. The most important piece of all of this, though, is the funny picture of the Xenoblade 2 cast, where we can see that the child that Nia specifically is holding...
Okay, yes, this is the picture we looked at the other day, and I was like, what? Rex had children with Mithra, Pyra, and Nia? Okay, I want to hear this. Like, you know what? I don't think I really ever wondered about this really. Like, I heard theories that Mio is Nia's daughter, but then, yeah, like, how can that be? Because Xenoblade 3 is like hundreds of years after 2. So what about Noah? What's his origin? Never mentioned in any game, even in Future Redeemed. Yeah, I don't know. Told you, Super Giga Chad Rex. Yes. Well, I mean, it's certainly implied, but I guess not confirmed. But I mean, if he's standing in the middle of them, right? And then he's got his arm, one arm on Mithra's chair and one arm on Nia's chair. And I mean, but everyone's just like cool with this. Like, are they all a throuple? Or I guess there's 4 people. So I don't know. What do you call something beyond a what's a 4-person relationship? Quadruple? Quadruple? A quadruple? But I mean, I guess everyone's just okay with this because it's like a family picture. It's video game culture. Polygamy is a thing even IRL. I mean, it is, but it's not really like accepted by most people. Like this is not a thing that's like portrayed very much in video games. And especially with games like this, like they're pretty like wholesome.
Has silver hair and...
I mean, when it comes to, you know, like... I mean, some of the storylines can get pretty dark, but when it comes to, like, the relationships they have between the characters, they're very wholesome. I mean, Rex even he literally has a line in the base game that says, we can defeat them with the power of friendship. Yeah, this broke the internet because became a big family. I bet. I mean, because there was no explanation, right? Like, I played the games really late, but as far as I'm aware, there was no explanation for this picture, right? Like, it just appeared and everyone was like, what? If I had been a Xenoblade fan at the time, I also would have been like, what? Told you more than just friendship. I mean, at the time that he was saying we can beat them with the power of friendship, no. But I mean, at the end of, I don't think that he may have had a baby with Nia, but that doesn't mean he loves her. Like, you can have a baby without loving somebody. You can have a baby with somebody and not love them. And at the end of Xenoblade 2, Zeke says to Noah, or I called him Noah. Zeke says to Rex, like, the girl that you love made a decision and you need to respect that. And he wasn't talking about Nia.
Cat ears. That is Mio. She is the daughter of Nia and presumably Rex based on her eye color and this picture. And
but how can that
based on
be?
everyone's ages, as in Morag and Zeke do not look significantly older, she can't possibly have been born any later than, say, 10 to 15 years after the end of the game. As for the Xenoblade 1 side, in the one piece of conversation we get to see the queens have prior to the worlds coming together, where they're discussing the completion of Origin, they say that there is 300 days left to go before they collide. And when they're discussing the time frame, there is zero conversation about relative timescales between their worlds. 300 days is 300 days for both of them.
I felt stuck, and I wanted more for myself. I always wanted to help kids.
Rex got all 3 girls pregnant at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, he must have, because
the timelines
they're all like the same age in that picture.
Are flowing in sync at 1 second per second across the two.
And so, okay, if we go back and look, like, I mean, he's right. Like, they don't look, nobody looks that much older. Or, I mean, Zeke and Morag don't look that much old. So, Zeke and Morag, I would guess, were like in their like mid to late 20s. And this looks maybe like, and if Rex was like, I guess Rex was supposed to be 15 in the base game of 2. So I'm going to guess he's probably around like 25 here. So if it's like 10 years later, that would make Morag and Zeke only in like their 30s. So going from your like 20s to your 30s, you really don't look that, you don't look any different. So it's not surprising that they don't look any different. Like, let's say they were like 25 to 28. That means they would be 35 to 38 now. That would mean Morag and Zeke would be like mid to late 30s. I mean, unless you are like, have some really unhealthy habits, you're going to look the same. Morag was the only 100% humanish from the cast, though. Ardanian regular person. That's right. That's right. It was revealed that Zeke had a similar situation with the core crystal with Pandoria. I forgot about that. But does that make him like a blade eater? Okay, but still, even that though, like when people, unless you have like some really unhealthy habits, people in their like mid to late 20s don't look any different when they're in their mid to late 30s.
Has silver hair and cat ears. That is Mio. She is the daughter of Nia and presumably Rex based on her eye color and this picture. And based on everyone's ages, as in Morag and Zeke do not look significant here.
Okay, let's fast forward through that because we already listened to that.
300 days is at 1 second per second across the two worlds.
Okay, wait.
Are flowing
fast forwarded a little too far.
300 days for both of them. The timelines are flowing in sync at 1 second per second across the two worlds, which means however much time that's passed since the end of 2 is also the amount of time that has passed since the end of 1. And adding to that, according to several analyses of the Japanese version of the opening cutscene, the text is a bit more specific about the anniversary celebration being held for Queen Melia. And that is, the phrasing used is less for a birthday or a wedding anniversary, and more so the anniversary of her rule. So they're actually celebrating exactly how much time has passed since the end of Future Connected. I have seen claims say that it was the silver anniversary or 25 years, but that was exactly one Reddit comment that did seem to claim that someone had data mined the background voice lines from either the opening or ending and someone had said that. So it is very possible that we do have an exact number, though I'm not going to claim that's true and wait and see if I can hear those voice lines for myself. But that much is not important because in the ending, when Nia is looking at the picture, she says, "I will see you soon then," presumably referring to all of the people depicted in it besides Poppy herself.
Okay. If they mess up their liver drinking that liquid courage all the time, then they could look older for their age. That is certainly one thing that will age you, is heavy drinking, heavy smoking, like a really bad diet, not exercising. Like if you have like some really unhealthy habits, you might like, you might not look great in like your 30s, in your late 30s, but if you are healthy and you take care of yourself, like you'll look the same. You might even look better. Depending on how you look in your 20s, you might even look better if you start taking better care of yourself. Wearing sunscreen, all those healthy habits. I've seen lots of people look better in their 30s than they did in their 20s.
Yourself. This is kind of important because in fiction, there are like two contexts where a character will say something like that. The first one is when they're about to die and move on to the same afterlife as the people they're talking to, or when they are literally going to see someone again soon. And that's kind of a big deal because, well, Nia's not going to die when Origin reactivates. At worst, she's going to forget Ionios, which means it has to be the second option. She is going to see everyone.
Aww.
The picture was probably not taken like immediately before Origin happened.
Water, drink a lot of water. Yep, exactly. Another very healthy habit. Drink lots of water. Stay hydrated. I look better in my 30s than when I was at my skinny 20s. You're right. Yeah, lots of people do. Like, you would be surprised. I think, you see a lot of people and unless you know specifically how old they are, you wouldn't know. Like, I bet a lot of people you see on a day-to-day basis, you think are in their 20s, but are actually in their 30s. I bet it's a lot more common than you think it is. Like, people you see and they're in their 30s, a lot more common than you think it is, but you just look at them and you just think that they're in their 20s, but they just have healthy habits and they took care of themselves. And anyway, being in your 30s is not even old.
Because in one of the flashbacks,
however, some people, like if they have like some supremely unhealthy habits, they will really age themselves.
See Tora with a different outfit, and he has his one from Xenoblade 2 on here, and I'm almost certain that Mio has grown up to be a preteen, probably 1 year older than Noah, when Origin actually activates, so this is more of a midpoint between the ending of Xenoblade 2 and...
Water, collagen, mineral, salt, protein, balanced diet. Yep. Yeah, it's another thing. I take collagen supplements. I put collagen powder in my coffee every day. Or at least 5 days a week when I make coffee in the morning before work. Sometimes I don't drink it on the weekends. But most of the time I'm putting collagen supplements in my drinks. The only Blade Eater that was shown as old was Cole, the theater guy. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Cole who was Minoth. And none of it works without sunlight and cardio. I mean, sun will also age you. Just don't get too much of it. And you can also just take a vitamin D supplement. But if you spend a lot of time in the sun, like that will significantly age your skin.
The start of 3, but that doesn't matter because let's just for argument's sake say Mio is 12 when Origin kicks in. 12 years after this, nobody depicted in this picture is going to have died of old age. And nobody significant from either this or the Xenoblade 1 world is likely to have, besides like Mikal and Cole. So that means, as long as they were put in Origin, put in Origin, they will also have been brought back.
I started a business to give old clothes a new life, and Chase has supported me from the beginning.
To eat, or what to eat, that is the question. Butterfinger or ice cream?
When the first rumors of Xenoblade 3 started coming out, we were told that it would take place in the combined future of both 1 and 2, and that so much time had passed that all but the longest-lived characters from previous games would have long since passed away. And it turns out the answer to whether or not those rumors were valid is wrong but also right. Truth is complicated. Has a massively long time passed? Yes. Has everybody except Melia and Nia died? Yes, but only in Ionios. In the two parallel worlds that existed both before and after the Endless Now, they are still alive, as long as they were alive when Origin went into effect, and since it has been at most 30 years since the end of both games, pretty much everybody still will be. It's worth noting that a time skip on the scale of 25 to 30 years actually makes a lot of sense if you assume that everyone born to the flame clock is a person who was already a child within the 10 to 20 age range in the previous worlds, because given a quarter of a century after the ending of both games, we have cultures mingling that would not have previously, and we have unprecedented times of peace, which means a lot of children and a lot of interracial children will be born, which makes the NPC designs make a lot more sense, and the fact that literally every character in this game besides...
Oh, okay, wait, let me listen to that again.
And a previously, quarter of a century after the ending of both games, we have cultures because given a quarter of a century after the ending of both games, we have cultures mingling that would not have previously, and we have unprecedented times of peace, which means a lot of children and a lot of interracial children will be born, which makes the NPC designs make a lot more sense, and the fact that literally every character in this game besides the two queens is someone new. So then, it's after the end of Xenoblade 3.
Yes, so I noticed this, that, like, I noticed in Xenoblade 3, like, they don't talk about the different races like they do in 1 and 2. And I also, because I wasn't familiar with the different races from 1 and 2, I didn't understand why people looked a certain way. Like, I didn't understand why Lance looked a certain way. And I was like, wait, why? I was like, why is he gray? But when I played Xenoblade 1, I was like, oh, the Machina have the same face as Lance. Like, they have that two-tone gray face as Lance. So but I didn't understand that because I played 3 first. But I did notice that, like, they don't talk about the races, and it's just like because they all, like, I guess, you know, I had guessed by that time they had all, like, intermingled, and it, like, just wasn't a thing anymore. But I also did notice that, okay, since I played 3 first, I noticed that everybody that had some sort of High Entia lineage had, like, short wings on their head, but when I played 1, I noticed that the High Entia, a lot of them had really long wings, and I didn't even know that could happen. But I guess because they had, you know, had children with Hums so much, their wings got shorter to the point where in 3, you don't have anybody that has, like, long wings. I have a feeling that Senna is a descendant from Morag, or a Blade at least. Yeah, so I heard some theories that Senna is descended from Brigid because she's got similar hair. I didn't even make that distinction. I thought Lance is like a new race or something. It all makes sense now that he is of Machina descent. Yeah, it seems to me that Hums people like intermingled with every other race and had a lot of kids with other races, to the point where they're like mostly Hums, but with, like, features of different races. And that's why we have like people with the wings on their head and heads on in 3, but they're just always short wings. And if you go back to 1 and you go to Alchemoth, you see all these High Entia walking around with really long wings on their heads. Like, I was, like, shocked when I first saw that. I was like, wait, why are their wings so long? Like, I thought they all would look like the people with wings on their heads in 3. Oh, Bridget, my bad, mix the names. Yeah, I mean, it's like, that theory makes sense, like, because everybody from Agnes has what looks like a core crystal, which was very surprising to me, because I was like, I was like, okay, that means core crystals are genetic, which seems kind of strange, but maybe it's so. I don't know. I don't know the biology of a blade, you know?
Noah and Mio have regained some of their memories of each other and realize that there is another world that people would definitely like to access. It's also probably likely that Senna and Taion are friends of Mio in that world as well, like they were in Ionios. And we'll throw Kairi in there, because I think Kairi is kind of the urine for the Agnes trio. She just doesn't have as tragic things happen to her. Then after that, what do these kids with memories do? Well, if they remember how Origin worked, all they really need to do is go talk to people who were in charge of the project. For Mio, that's very easy, she literally just needs to call up her mother, but for Noah's end, that might be a bit more difficult. As far as we can tell, none of the Keves gang is directly related to anyone from Xenoblade 1, and if they had a close connection to Queen Melia, they probably wouldn't be running towards Alchemoth to go see the ceremony, they'd have been specially invited and watching it with her. That might make it very difficult for them to get an audience with Melia, but I have a strange feeling that as long as this world's version of Noah also looks up to this world's version of Chris, the fact that Chris seems to be descended from a certain Homs engineer would very likely get Noah's foot through the door.
Oh!
And then, once the queens know about all this stuff...
Protein so tasty, even Hercules calls it a flex. Divine taste, legendary protein.
You gotta see this. I'm in a random group chat. They're inviting me. To Miami?
What's up? Well, as long as their method of communication is still open, they can just regather all of the intellects it took to build Origin and work on a new project between the two worlds. This time one to bridge them together instead of recreating them and forcing them apart. Such intellects like Teelan and Tyrea, Tatazo, Linata.
Okay, so as we were just talking about, Tyrea is one of the Hyentia that has like super long wings. With Senna, I quickly made that distinction with Senna and Kamaravi having traits similar to Brigid. Yeah. See, even he said none. I couldn't find any connection for Noah's roots either. Yeah. Other than a specific name, famous surname from XB2 and XB3. Yeah, I mean, so far, we haven't made any connections except for, I guess, for the Chris connection, but that's still just a theory, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'll be playing Future Redeem, so we'll see what happens there.
Adenine, Nicole, Tora, and Shulk. If you think something so simple as interdimensional travel is going to keep people like that down for very long, once they know that they have a good reason to figure it out, I don't think you've been paying much attention to this series. Noah and Mio will meet again. The casts will be reunited, and they will march towards the future hand in hand. It is only a matter of time, and the only question that remains is whether or not we're going to get to see that directly in DLC or implied in flashbacks in a future game. And that is all I've got. I obviously glossed over a lot of more minor things or things that warranted their own video, like how exactly the races of Ionios work, the way Ouroboros and Lucky 7 actually work, or stuff about Riku and the founding of the city and all of that kind of stuff. But this is just about...
So I love that he says, oh, I just glossed over a lot of stuff, and it's still a 45-minute video, and it is only about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I mean, he does have to go over some things from 1 and 2, but because they are relevant to 3. I love Noah and Mio so much. Such a beautiful franchise with amazing ships. Yeah, me too. I was like totally shocked when they kissed at the end. Because let's not forget, like, they had no like concept of like romantic relationships or sex, and when they got to the city, they like were totally shocked when they learned what sex was.
The ending and basically clearing things up for the sake of people who thought it was a time reset and nothing mattered at all, or thought that it was unnecessarily sad for what actually happened in the game and stuff like that, and not entirely delving into all the real mysteries of Ionios, which I promise you I do have a lot of potential answers for. So thank you to all the patrons whose names you see on screen now. Or
okay, I have to say that did explain a lot, but I have to say I still don't like completely understand everything. So I am going to be playing Future Redeem. Maybe that will answer some questions. I thought they would never reach a kiss scene until the babies were introduced. Yeah. Okay, so all right, I'm going to be starting Future Redeemed on Tuesday. So we'll see what happens then. I'm sure I will still have some questions. Okay, so, wow, that's it for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, guys. I feel so weird. Like, I mean, honestly, like, I felt weird when I finished the base game. But then I was like, well, I still have, you know, I still have the DLC, but now that's over. And I feel weird and empty now. Okay, so, I guess we could do a raid. We're gonna end, at this point, we're gonna end a little early because we have nothing else to do. And we're caught up a little bit on the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I played it over a year ago, so I'm not gonna remember everything that happened. I'm still a little bit confused, but we'll see what happens when I play through Future Redeemed. Okay. Hang out for a few minutes, guys, while I find somebody to raid. Congrats on finishing XC2. Oh, thank you, Magic. I really appreciate that. Okay, we're gonna do Rebecca raid for the raid message. Okay, guys, I will be back on Tuesday to start Future Redeemed. Then I will continue it on Thursday. Then Friday, I will still be streaming, but I won't be playing Future Redeemed. I'll be on my friend Chev Studios stream for his birthday stream. We're going to be playing one of the Dynasty Warriors. Which Dynasty Warriors do you ask? I can't remember. Then I'll be back. After that, I'll be back on... I should be back Saturday. I've got a friend's thing to go to on Saturday, but I think it should just be in the daytime. Okay, let me see who's on. Oh, let's go see Coin. I haven't seen him on in a while. So Coin, I've found like just randomly rating him on YouTube, which is, it's unusual to find somebody that, like, you know, you get along with well randomly rating on YouTube, because like YouTube's a little bit harder to raid. YouTube's a little harder to raid because most people don't have raids on and are like still not used to raiding on YouTube. So a lot of people are like kind of, honestly, are kind of like weirded out by it. Like I sometimes raid new people on YouTube and they're like, oh, you can raid on YouTube, and then that's all they'll say, and I'm just like, yeah, and they're just like, oh, okay, thanks. I'm like, all right. Anyway, Coin was really nice when I raided him. He's really, really cool. He is playing Halo Reach. He also has a fashion channel. You can ask him about it. He does like fashion, I don't know, fashion stuff. He says it grew a lot faster than his gaming channel. Okay, guys, let's go see Coin. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. We'll be starting Future Redeemed. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I will see you in the next one. Bye!